We've got a lot to talk about and go over in this video, and let me just say all of it is really insane and really fascinating, and I do want to add this in there. I didn't plan on making this video, but stuff happens and here we are. I happened to stumble across some information earlier today and I was like, yeah, we gotta talk about it, and there's also a bunch of other things we're gonna talk about. As to when I'm speaking and making this video, we are less than 100 subs away from 190k. Let's try to see if we can hit it from this video or get slightly closer. If you don't want to sub, that's cool too. And now without further ado, let's get into it. A random way to start off the video, but I want to share this with you. Somebody on Twitter said, I used to drink tons of Diet Coke, but it's been 1 month since I've had a drop. I want to share some of the changes I've observed in myself over that time. My health is unchanged, I'm less happy, and my source of joy is gone. Thanks for encouraging me on this journey. I know that's kind of random, but I don't drink too many carbonated beverages, but I love a good Diet Coke here and there. I don't know what it is about Diet Coke, but I really like them every now and then. Let me know if you can relate to that. Oh snap, I didn't even notice this, but Elon freaking Musk replied to that and said, Diet Coke is amazing, especially the soda fountain version at movie theaters with salt and butter popcorn. He also added, there's something special about enjoying movies in a theater with total strangers. I hope that never goes away. How could you not like Elon Musk? He's one of the smartest humans to ever grace this earth, yet he can relate to average people like me and you. Elon's just a cool cat, man. If you don't like him, there's something wrong with you. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I hope some of you can relate. I know Diet Coke, it ain't good for you, but it sure does taste good, and I enjoy it. This has probably been the most random start to any video I had. Let's get serious and talk about football. So recently, and I'm not even too sure as to why it started, but everyone's been making these bold predictions for college football, and it's been trending everywhere. I've seen a bunch of them, and I'm going to show you some of the new hot takes from fans. This first one says, Jackson State misses the SWAC championship and Hunter transfers. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't know too much about the SWAC conference, and I don't keep up with Jackson State football too much. The only reason I started even paying attention to him really was because of Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter. I don't really see Hunter transferring though, so that one just doesn't make sense to me. It's not like he needs media attention or hype. There's already a ton of eyes on him. And also he loves Deion Sanders, primetime, whatever you want to call him. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I would definitely be shocked by it. Moving on to this next one, it says, Notre Dame beats Ohio State week 1 by 10 plus points. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand this. That's not a hot take. That's called being delusional. There's a difference from making a hot take, bold prediction, and just being stupid. That's what I like to call being stupid. Ohio State's going to steamroll them. Here's the real debate in that game. Is Ohio State going to win by only 10 points or only 35 points? That game will not be that close, but moving on to our next one, keeping it with Ohio State, this person said, 3 Ohio State players finish in the top 6 at Heisman voting. That one's definitely not too far-fetched because CJ Stroud, obviously, he's going to finish in the top 6. Their running back, he was phenomenal last year. He didn't get a ton of love. And also their wide receiver. I'm trying to think, who else is going to be in that conversation? Bryce Young, he's obviously going to be in the top 6. And probably Caleb Williams. Whoever's the quarterback at Oklahoma, they're going to have a chance. If Quinn Ewers at Texas, he plays good, he's going to have a good chance too. You never know with the Heisman. That 1 year with Mac Jones in 2020 where him, Najee Harris, and Devontae Smith, they all finished in the top 6. I could definitely see that happen considering all those players, they're going to thrive off of each other's success. The next hot take, this one's funny, Alabama doesn't make the national championship game. I hope that tweet right there goes to show you what the expectations and standards are for Alabama football. To say that Alabama doesn't make the championship game as a hot take is crazy. That's what we come to though, and think about it. If somebody came up to me right now and said they don't think Alabama's going to the championship next year, I would think they're crazy. Most of you know I've said it, I'm predicting them to win the championship in this up-and-coming season, and if you disagree with that, here's my argument. Who's going to stop them? The best team in the SEC to stop them is either Georgia or Texas A&M. I, for one, not too worried about A&M because Jimbo, he's overrated, and they don't even have a quarterback right now. And I think most people would say that Georgia has the best chance, but their defense is completely ripped to shreds, and Stetson Bennett, the DoorDash driver, he's a quarterback. That one's definitely interesting, though, because let me ask you a question. Let me know in the comments. If you had to put a bet down right now on Alabama either A, goes to the championship, or B, doesn't go to the championship, what are you betting on? Moving on to this next one we got from Jackson. He stated that Vanderbilt beats Tennessee. Oh, man, for those of you that don't keep up with Vanderbilt, all you need to know is that they're one of the worst teams in all the country. Or my bad, let me go back on that statement. I don't think they're one of the worst teams, but they just don't have the talent to compete in the SEC. They don't have the stadium, they don't have the facilities, they don't have the staff. It's It's just a bad situation. Let me put it this way, and I hope this gives you a better perspective. If Vanderbilt played their A-plus game against Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, any great team like that, they would still lose. It's just not fair for Vanderbilt, but Tennessee, on the other hand, they're not in Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, or Georgia. Theoretically speaking, could Vanderbilt beat Tennessee? Yes. Will it happen? No. A Tennessee fan in the comment even said, I will delete my account if Vandy beats Tennessee. Save this comment. If Vanderbilt wins, I'm going to come back to that comment and I expect your account to be deleted, my boy. Next up on our list is my favorite one and really the main topic of this video. It's Cade Klubnik and DJ Uiagalelei. Casual fans wouldn't know this, but there is some conversations going around Clemson right now. And those conversations are about the quarterback room. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Mr. DJ Uiagalelei, great and sound human being, humble dude, just does all the stuff you want him to. He works hard. Unfortunately, he's not that great of a quarterback. If he was playing for a mid-tier program like Tennessee or Pittsburgh or any school like that, they'd be worshiping the grounds he walks on. The reality though, when you go to a top-tier elite/great program like a Clemson, the expectations are for you to be elite. So it doesn't make sense for the team to be elite and you're only good. And I want to make this clear, after watching how bad he was last year, I don't even know if I can label him as good. I've never seen anything at the D1 level of college football where a quarterback and his wide receiver and offense is just that miscombobulated. I'm not going to put everything on DJ last year. I watched the games. The offensive line, they weren't the best ever, and they weren't helping him out too much, and the wide receivers were dropping passes left and right. But at the very end of the day, when the offensive line did hold up and they blocked well, and the wide receivers got open, DJ didn't do his part. I'm talking about passes going 10 yards over their head, missing 5 yards left, 5 yards right, and hitting the receivers in the foot. Is it hitting them in the foot or I think it's hitting them in the feet. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say. I guess technically it could be foot or no. Matt, shut up. Get a move on. The dilemma last year for Clemson was although DJ wasn't too great, they didn't have a guy any better behind him, so they just had to roll with him. And they wound up putting in the backup quarterback, and he has a crazy name as well, and he wasn't too much better. However, fast forward in time to this up-and-coming year, they have a guy who's behind him who could and I think will be better. He goes by the name of Cade Klubnik. He was a former 5-star recruit, and the hype is real. And the pressure is definitely on because in the spring game, Cade Klubnik, he went 15 for 23, a $106 with a touchdown, and had a rating of 118.3. Pretty solid if you gotta ask me. On the other hand, for DJ, he was a miserable 17 for 36, $175, and an interception, rating 82.5. How do I say this nicely? When you can't complete 50% of your passes in a spring game, you have a problem. We're not talking about playing in a real game where there's pressure. We're talking about a spring game. I don't think DJ played awful in the spring game. It was just what we saw last year. No improvement, and he's average. I hate to say it, I really do. I wish him the best, but I gotta be real. And it's so strange to me because in his freshman year when he came in for Lawrence when he got suspended for COVID, he was looking phenomenal. Most quarterbacks in college, they get better the more they play. DJ looks like he's getting worse every time he plays. The spring game really did it for me. I was like, okay, it's obvious. He's not going to get any better anytime soon. And Cade, he looked good, about as good as advertised. So eventually they're going to have to roll with him. And the hot take this person said, and it's kind of funny because I've been saying this for months now, is that Cade Klubnik will take over for DJ by week 4 and will lead Clemson to the college football final. Now, I didn't say all that other stuff about Cade was going to lead them to the final. I just said he was going to take over around week 4. Because if most of y'all don't know, that's when they're going to play or eventually match up with Wake Forest, who is supposed to be 3-0 by that time as well. I don't care who's at quarterback for Clemson against Wake freaking Forest. I'm still going to predict them to win. But I do think we'll see Dabo Swinney do what he did with the Kelly Bryant and Trevor situation. Kelly Bryant wasn't playing all too hot, and he knew and understood, okay, maybe I can win an ACC championship with Kelly Bryant, but I know I can't beat Alabama and win a national championship with him, so he switched over to Trevor Lawrence, and it worked. They say history repeats itself, and I think Dabo Swinney is going to do the exact same thing. It's just a matter of time before they move on to Cade Klubnik. I want to make this very clear. I'm not too sure how good Klubnik can eventually be, but here's what I do know. He's already better than DJ Uiagalelei. If I had to pick one guy right now, whether I'm building a backyard football team or I'm running an NFL team, I'm going with Cade. You know what they say though, only time will tell, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. We got a couple more hot takes, or I think it's about 3 or 4 I want to go over. This is the most fascinating one. Hudson Card starts over Quinn Ewers. When you think about it, I don't think it's too far-fetched. Now, I don't think it's going to happen because Ewers didn't go there to sit the bench, and I think he's about 2 times better than Hudson Card. But it could happen. What if Quinn Ewers leading up to the Alabama game or something else, he just doesn't look too good? Maybe Hudson Card and Quinn Ewers in that first game, they split reps and Hudson Card goes out there and balls out. He could take over. I never really thought about that. I'm glad he brought it up because once Ewers transferred there, I automatically assumed he was going to start. I still think he will start, but we've seen crazy stuff happen before. Now, Bryce said, Kentucky goes 10 plus wins and Will Levis is a Heisman finalist. Come on, man. Are we too sure that's a hot take? That's realistic. The SEC East, aka the SEC least, is nothing compared to the SEC West, and Kentucky is in the East. Georgia's not going to be as good as last year. Tennessee, I think they're going to be better, but let's say they win one of those games and go undefeated in the rest, they'll win 10 or more games. Will Levis is already projected to be a first-round NFL pick, so I don't think it's crazy to say he could be a Heisman finalist. Will he win the award? Absolutely not, because he plays for Kentucky, but he'll be there. Or I'm not saying he will be there, but I'm saying I could see it happening. And last but not least, my favorite one out of them all, Stetson DoorDash Bennett pops off and wins the Heisman. I'm not even going to say anything about that. I'm going to just let a Georgia fan tell you themselves. They said, I'm a Georgia fan and Stetson is not winning the Heisman, LOL. When your own fan base says it about you, I don't even think I have to say anything more. I'm not even going to address it. You all know how I feel about Stetson DoorDash Bennett. It's nothing against him personally. He's a Dollar General version of Johnny Manziel. He's an average quarterback who shows flashes of good/great at times. He can make a good or great play here and there, but all in all, he's average. May I remind you, every single time he's played Alabama, he's almost cost Georgia the game and made terrible turnovers. Even in that championship game, people forgot that he had a costly fumble, and that was the only reason Alabama scored a touchdown. If they would have lost that game, everybody would have been talking about that for years. There's one more thing I want to talk about in this video. I saw this on Instagram. Somebody said this is the winners and losers of the transfer portal. I mean, yeah, I guess some of that's debatable, but here's my question, and I'm being dead serious. How did Nebraska win? I don't keep up with Nebraska too much because they went 3-9. There's no reason to keep up with them. They're not good. They have one of the most delusional fan bases I've ever seen. They're the only team that can go 3-9 and their fan base still think they're going to have a good year in this upcoming season. For example, here's something a Nebraska fan would say. You know how whenever it's the end of the year and everybody says, okay, who's the best one-loss team? A Nebraska fan would say, oh, well, we're the best 3-9 team. Yeah, no crap, dummy. You are the best 3-9 team because there's only like 3 or 4 of them out there. I did hear that they picked up a guy or two in the transfer portal. I just don't know who, so if you do, fill us in the comment section. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Let me know your thoughts down below and your hot takes down below. But what up is up, babies?